yourself, and then we'll go into the brand from there.
Okay. First, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. So how did I get into this industry? So after I finished school in Florida, I moved to Chicago, worked in a recording studio as a house engineer, worked in some music venues as a house engineer, and then moved to Los Angeles, did the same thing for a while. And as most people know, Los Angeles is not an inexpensive place to live. So I had a slow month or two as a freelancer, and I guess I kind of freaked out and got a job in the industry. So I started working for TC Group at that time, doing support, moved on to doing repairs as a bench tech, and then that segued into a sales position. Fast forward to my time here with DB Technologies, I then started working with DB Technologies at American Music and Sound in 2006 as a national sales manager. So yeah, that's really how it all began for me. I've been having a lot of fun with DB since I started, and we've been having some success since, certainly in the US, since American Music and Sound started distributing the line.
So why don't you tell me a little bit about DB Technologies for those people who may not know what it is and what's, I think the key factor is what's different about it.
Okay. So the first thing is I would just mention where DB was founded. And so DB Technologies is based out of Bologna, Italy. It was founded by Mr. Arturo Vaccari, and it was founded in the 90s. And before that, Arturo Vaccari had a company called AEB Industrial, and he was doing wireless products, so wireless microphones, headphones, products really for broadcast in Italy. And then started doing loudspeakers, and that's where DB was founded. So as DB started growing, Arturo Vaccari started acquiring other brands. So DB Technologies is part of a bigger entity, which has sister companies like RCF, EAW, DPA microphones, and Montalvo loudspeakers as well, which is another Italian loudspeaker brand. So
I'm gonna cut you off for just 1 second. I forgot to mention about swag. So before we even get started into the brand, I do want to mention, guys, I want you to write in the comments, really anything. If you have questions, if you have comments, write them in the comments, because we are going to be picking 5 winners after, like within the next 24 hours to win some DB Technologies swag. So make sure you write it. You comment. The more comments, the better. It does give you multiple entries. So, Colin, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to mention that so people were aware.
No worries. It's all about the swag.
Yes.
So where were we? We were talking about DB Technologies, how it was founded. And I think you were asking me about what's different about DB compared to other loudspeaker brands. Yep. So one thing that most people don't realize about DB Technologies is DB has been designing and manufacturing their own amplifiers since day one. So the point is that really mostly everything that you see in these products from DB Technologies is designed and manufactured in-house. So that's one thing that, you know, there's more loudspeaker brands that are doing it now, but this is something that DB's been doing since day one. So what that results to is basically a low cost of ownership, because, you know, mostly everything is designed and manufactured in-house. Something that put DB Technologies on the map is the DVA T4. So that was introduced in the mid-2000s, and that was the first active 3-way line array product that was introduced into the market. And we have a product now called the K5 that is the next generation of that. But that at that time, that was very groundbreaking. You know, you see a lot of line array product out there now that are lightweight, made of polypropylene. Well, DB Technologies was the first to do something like that back then. And, you know, that's really something that the brand has built its success on. So, you know, active lightweight line arrays is something DB is definitely known for. And also the support that we offer. So we have an amazing applications team in the US and certainly in Italy as well. So that's something that we've had a lot of our customers comment on is the level of support that we're able to offer. So, you know, we enjoy what we do, and I think it shows to our customer base.
I agree. I know I've worked with you guys on some orders, and for us as reps, we as your salespeople out there on the ground, it's really easy. All I have to do is like send you an email and you guys respond really, really quickly, which is really nice. So for us, you make it easy for us to sell your brand.
I appreciate that.
And then I do want to use that as a segue to go into, one of the main reasons that we are talking about DV Technologies today is because this month we are kicking off an awesome sale on the DV brand. So let's talk about the more portable market.
Okay. So I'll start with this smaller product. We have something called the ES series, which is the entertainment system. And it's a column speaker, and something that is unique about the DV Technologies product compared to some of our competitors is we have the ones that end with a 3, either the ES503 or the ES1203. The amplifier that's on board is a 3-channel amplifier. So you can split the tops up into stereo. So you can purchase one ES503 or one ES1203 and have 2 tops over 1 sub and have essentially a stereo system. A lot of the other column speakers out there, you'd have to purchase 2. Now we certainly have that option as well. We have the ES802 or the 1002 where they're just single columns, at a lower price point. But the 503 and the 1203 those are what I'd say more unique out of what's out there in the market. And they also have Bluetooth input as well. So if you want to play music from your phone and, still use the 3 input mixer on the back, that all mixes together. And they sound great as well. So the 503 has 4 3-inch drivers, so 8 3-inch drivers total when you pair 2 tops together. And the 1203 has 4 4-inch drivers in each top, so 8 4-inch drivers total, and 2 12-inch woofers for the subs versus the 503 has a single 12-inch woofer for the sub. At the end of the day, that results into significantly more output when you compare the two. So the 1203 I think it's 11 dB more output. So, it's bigger, it's made of wood versus the 503, it's lighter, it's made of polypropylene. And both of those have advantages. The 503 is very lightweight. So if somebody who doesn't want to have to deal with lifting something that's a little heavy, the 503 is a perfect small little portable PA, either for DJs or, the house of worship market or schools. So yeah, they're quite popular in those markets.
So the ES1203, let's talk a little bit about that one. I know that when Tim brought them to our warehouse for a demo, I was just blown away with the sound. It was crazy loud. We had it going in the warehouse and I could hear it in my office. And I was like, what's going on out there? So I get up and I walk out and there it is. And it's a great, in my opinion, the sound was really, really good. And I liked the 1203. It was a little, it was a larger system. So how much does the sub weigh? Do you know that?
I could tell you in 1 second. As I'm looking this up, it's funny you mentioned the SPL because the sub weighs 64 pounds.
Okay.
The tops weigh 7 pounds each. It's funny you mentioned the output. So when we introduced the 1203 in our demo room at Infocom a couple years ago, we had a larger format PA in the same room, and people would walk up to the subs. We had, I don't remember if they were dual or triple 18s, and they would put their hands on those subs because they were convinced that all of the output that you were getting out of the 1203 must have been something else in the room. And it was just funny, demo after demo after demo, you'd always watch somebody walk up to another product because they were assuming and convinced that there's no way you could get all that output out of just a 1203. So yeah, it's certainly got some output. I should mention it comes with all the accessories as well. So there's a carrying case, bags for everything. So it packs up quite nicely too.
Does it have wheels for the sub? I don't recall that.
We have a dolly. So there's a dolly that's an extra accessory. So, and if the weight is a concern, then you can always go with the smaller one, which would be the 503.
So the 503, let's talk, what's the max dB on that one?
So the 503 is, sorry, give me 1 second.
No worries.
I just had it up. So the 1203 is 132 and the 503 is 121 dB. That's PL.
Okay, so so you said it's max SPL or continual? Let's explain the difference between the two first.
Well, max SPL would be basically max output before the point of damaging components. So it's safe to, say that it'll produce this output, but you wouldn't be running it consistently at 132 dB SPL if it's the 1203. So continuous would be, what is the average SPL?
And the average for the 12, I'm kind of sticking to the 1203s because I've had a lot of messages about them. So I think my customers are interested. I think they want to know more about them. So that's kind of why I'm sticking to that rather than the 503, because I've actually been getting quite a few messages about the 1203s.
Okay. Again, I think the big point for the 1203 is the ability to split the tops up into stereo. And that's something that is unique compared to I won't name other brands and other products, but there's other column speakers out there, but the 1203 is the only one that I'm aware of at this point that it can be a stereo system by just purchasing one. And the cool thing is it's scalable as well. So if you purchase two 1203s, you can run them in double column mode. So now you have two 1203s working together and everything connects to the first one. And then you use that input mixer on the first one to then run just, essentially one cable to the second. Another cool thing is most people don't realize this, but when you pair the tops together, it's actually using 3 amplifier channels. So even if it's a single mono column, you have an amplifier for the subs, an amplifier for one of the tops, and then between the tops, there's metal terminals where the next amplifier channel is passed from one top to the other through those metal terminals. So you run one cable to the tops, and then the two talk to each other and get power from one another through the metal terminals in the top. So that's something most people don't know. You run one cable, and people assume that it's just one amp channel. So that's more output at the end of the day. And also there's a little bit of steering that you can do on there because the tops are, they're processed and amplified individually.
I want to mention again, guys, to write in the comments, make sure you comment. We are giving away some swag within the next 24 hours for those of you that comment. So make sure you are putting your comments in the comment section where it is appropriate. So Colin, I know there's a whole line of speakers through DB Technologies. Is there anything else that you kind of want to touch base on? So we're not just talking about columns the whole time? Absolutely.
Although I would like to talk about the Ingenious system, which is a column, but let's talk about a point source box quickly, and then I would like to talk about the Ingenia. So the Opera series, it's a two-way point source box at face value, but it's a great sounding point source box, and it has a couple unique things. One is that DB tends to do this a lot lately. The dispersion being vertically asymmetric, so it's doing something like that. And the reason why that's a good thing is most often the speakers are above your head, so you don't want equal energy going upwards to the ceiling. You want most of your energy going forward and downwards. So the Opera series, the high frequency waveguide does that. It has vertically asymmetric dispersion. So it's throwing energy forward and downwards. So that gives you more output and more coverage where you need it. Another key point to the Opera series is the horizontal is actually a dual horizontal pattern. So in the middle, it's tighter. So that enables it to throw farther. And then there's a second horizontal pattern on the outer edge of the high frequency waveguide that allows you to get good coverage when you're closer up to the speaker. So those are the Opera series. Price point, they're very competitive. And I consistently get comments from people on how phenomenal those boxes sound. And they're kind of like, they had no idea about them. And then, they always kind of give me positive comments on them. Ingenious series though, I would like to talk about that if that's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's a column speaker, but it's a hybrid column speaker. And the reason why I say hybrid is at that form factor, there's column speakers out there where they have, mini transducers all on their own amplifier channels, and then they're very steerable. But the problem is they're also very expensive and not necessarily the most musical sounding. The Ingenia is kind of a hybrid of that, so it has that same profile, but it's very musical sounding. And I think a lot of people overlook when you would deploy something like the Ingenia series, like in what application, which the one that comes to mind the most is ground stacking line arrays. A lot of people will ground stack, 2 or 3 or even 4 line array modules when you could actually use something like an Ingenia series, which will cost significantly less and actually deliver better results, because it's a narrow column where the horizontal coverage is much better and the vertical coverage is much better. And again, at a fraction of the price point. So for DJs, that's definitely a very good product to look at. And the Ingenia are also very popular in the house of worship market for us.
So it looks like Brian asked, I think he's talking about the Ingenia series. How do they compare to the Evolve 50s? I don't think they're in the same bracket. The Ingenia is going to be, it's more of like a stackable array, correct?
Yeah, I think we'd be comparing the ES series to that, and okay. I'd say they compare output-wise. They're quite comparable. The big point is, especially the 503 and the 1203, the ability to split them up into a stereo system very easily by just having one ES 503 or 1203. That'd probably be the major point.
And then Brian also asks, how do these speakers compare to like QSC, RCF, other high-end speakers?
Well, I mean, we're in the same market as those brands. We've definitely done demos with them, and I feel being put in a precarious situation because I don't want to pick on our competitors, but I will say this: at the end of the day, every loudspeaker sounds different, and part of it's a matter of taste and preference. And the thing about DB Technologies is that the product sounds very consistent across the entire range. And that's probably one of the main points is DB is known for sounding very clean, clear, and pristine. So especially in the vocal range, the output that you get and the intelligibility you get in the vocal range is definitely phenomenal.
So I love your answer. It looks like Mike Morales asked, Colin, I missed the announcement. What happened? What announcement?
What was announced?
Mike, we're announcing that there is a huge sale on DB Technologies right now. And then if you write in the comments, we are going to give away some swag within the next 24 hours. As long as you write in the comments, you get some entries. So I don't know that you missed anything. If you want to, when we're done, if you want to rewind and go back and watch from the beginning, you'll see what you missed. And then,
oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Well, I see. Does the ES1203 come in white? Absolutely. Somebody just asked that question.
Yep. Ooh, swag. Yeah, so it's all about the swag. That's the big announcement. I do want to mention again that we are offering 25% off DB Technologies this month, the month of August. So if you're interested in pricing, feel free to shoot me a message or an email. You guys know where to find me. And let me know what you're interested in, or if you have any questions about anything. Colin, do you have anything else to add today?
I do, actually. Going back to comparing DB to other brands, one thing I would say is a lot of people tend to get fixated on the power amplifier rating in active speakers. And I'd say that's one of the main points where DB tends to kind of stick out a little bit on the positive side is efficiency. It doesn't really matter what is the rating of the power amplifier in an active speaker as much as the actual SPL rating. If you can get the same SPL in an active box with a lower rated power amplifier, that means it's more efficient, which means you could put more of them on a single circuit because that amplifier that's rated at a lower power rating isn't going to require as much current to deliver that power. So that's probably the big point. Is there a USA tech support? Absolutely. Support at AmericanMusicandSound.com.
Perfect. So
And we also have, sorry, one more point. We do have a design team, DBT Design at American Music and Sound. That's specifically for DB Technologies. If you have any projects that you're working on, we can assist you there.
Perfect. So I generally end my webcast with a question from my son, but I actually didn't talk to him this. So I'm just going to go back to the basic, the question that everybody loves, and it is, who would win a fight, a dinosaur or a robot?
A dinosaur.
Dinosaur? Any reasoning behind that?
Dinosaurs rule.
Yeah, there we go. All right, guys. Once again, make sure you write in the comments. We are going to monitor them afterwards, and we're going to be giving away some swag. So the more you comment, the better. And also, again, don't forget that we are doing 25% off DB Tech this month, the month of August. So make sure you send me a message or an email or a fire, smoke signal, something. Just get a hold of me and let me know what you are interested in, and I will send you some pricing.
Thanks again for having us.
All right. Thanks, Colin. I'll see you guys later.